We all know the expression, it's as different as chalk and cheese, but we might not know where that phrase comes from. But once you find out which county we're in with Escape today, then you will. In today's show, I'll be helping a couple take that leap to the country and buy their very first property together. It all starts very positively.
This is an amazing sized room. Fabulous.
Yeah, nice, like it.
But then our mystery house stirs things up. OK, so it's a challenge, the house. Today Escape is in Wiltshire, whose southern chalk downs could not be more different to the northern pasture land that provides grass for the cows that make cheese. There's the difference, but the one thing that unifies the county is beautiful property and gorgeous countryside. The average detached house in Wiltshire, of which this is not an example, costs £300,000. Now that's 15% above the national average. Why so expensive? Well, basically because of the M4. Great motorway links and rail links back into the capital makes Wiltshire the edge of the bearable daily commute when you still have ravishing countryside and beautiful properties. If you don't believe me, take a look. £325,000 would get you this four-bedroom listed barn conversion in Lynham, which provides inventive open-plan living areas. On the market at £595,000, this extended four-bedroom thatched cottage in all Cannings dates back to the late 18th century and offers up a lovely light interior downstairs along with attractive gardens outside. Or if your budget can stretch to £680,000, what about this four-bedroom thatched property in Idmiston? Its reception rooms are filled with natural light and the master suite leads out onto a veranda, a great vantage point from which to enjoy views over the garden. So Wiltshire has some blooming nice properties, and as spring tumbles in over the county, we have selected 3 of them to show today's house buyers. So why don't you get to know them? Meet Ray, a company director, and Sarah, an HR manager, who live in Ray's four-bedroom home in Hertfordshire. Ray's lived here all his life, having inherited it from his father. Right now they're in the throes of organising their wedding and are keen to buy their first home together well away from this busy commuter heartland.
This is one of the natural beauty spots at Kings Langley, railway line and the M25. As you can see, not the most attractive part of the village, but unfortunately quite essential, and one of the reasons why we're deciding to move on.
We do spend quite a lot of our time walking at the moment. Obviously, having 2 dogs means that we have to walk a lot, and our favourite is going to the woods at the weekend. So we do want somewhere where we've got access to lots of walks, lots of public footpaths on the doorstep.
They've opted for Wiltshire, which has good M4 access for Sarah to get to Heathrow, where she works. Ray, however, has his own pet supplies business, so amongst other factors, he'll be needing space to work from home.
The features that I'll be looking for in our new property would be a study, reasonable sized study, potentially a room that we can use as a gym, have a nice living space, definitely still need to keep an ensuite bathroom.
4 bedrooms.
4 bedrooms.
Large kitchen.
There we are, you've got more of a list.
With an island.
Yeah.
I'd quite like a utility or a boot room, because when we bring the dogs in and they're muddy, at the moment they come straight into our lounge area. So it'd be really good to have somewhere to wipe off the muddy paws and store the wellies.
Outside, they want an acre of land so that as well as the dogs, they can add sheep and chickens to their animal menagerie. On top of that, they're also keen on the possibility of having a holiday let. Just as well, they're flexible on the form their country home might take.
We're not really that bothered about the style of property we're looking for, as long as it's large and airy and has the things that we particularly want. We're quite happy with whether it's Georgian, Victorian or much more modern barn conversion.
Yeah.
Sarah sold her house 3 years ago, and with Ray's property on the market for £475,000, they've got a healthy sum to buy their first home.
Our budget for our next move is £600,000.
These days it's fairly unusual for someone to have lived their whole life in the same property since the day they were born right up into their 40s. So I imagine that Ray's going to be quite sad to be leaving the old place. But he is, on the other hand, leaving it for a very good purpose. He's getting married to Sarah and we are going to find them their marital home. Fingers crossed. Let's hope Wiltshire has everything they're looking for. Sarah and Ray are keen to base their house search in the Marlborough area, where Sarah has family, which gives her relatively easy access to the M4 for her commute to Heathrow twice a week. We've lined up 3 very different Wiltshire properties to whet their appetite, but I won't be revealing the price of each until they've had a guess first. The last of these will be our mystery house, which, as ever, is designed to challenge their property preconceptions. Morning, guys.
Morning.
Welcome to Wiltshire. You ready for some house hunting?
Absolutely.
And your budget has changed. In the right direction, it's going upwards. What happened there?
We have an option if my mum comes with us and we find a suitable annex property to use some of the proceeds of the sale of her house as well. So we have a slight increase if there's a suitable annex for mum. Slight
being how much?
150,000 on top of the £600,000 that we already have.
Oh, so we can go up to 750?
We can indeed.
Nice. But that has to have an annex?
It does.
So, if we get the annex for your mum, does that mean that the holiday let idea has bitten the dust?
Yeah, if we can find the right property that fits that spec, then yes.
Because this is a big move for you, isn't it? You're getting married.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, but you haven't moved since wherever?
No, I've never moved, so this will be quite an experience. So I'm looking forward to it.
So are you sad about leaving the house?
Well, I will be, but, you know, things have to change.
So there's actually lots of properties to sell with your mum's place as well?
There are, yes.
Only one to buy. So let's go and find it.
Excellent.
Come with me. For their budget of £600,000, Ray and Sarah are looking for a country home that provides light, spacious living areas for them and the dogs to mingle, a large kitchen diner, 4 bedrooms, preferably with an ensuite, an office, a gym and an acre of land. However, they would increase the budget to £750,000 if there was an annex for Sarah's mum, or the potential for a holiday let. As we get our house search underway, we're going all out for location and heading to the village of Blunsdon, some 10 miles from Marlborough. Surrounded by peaceful countryside, it's a place with strong community spirit, what with a shop run by volunteers next to the village hall and a local pub. Our first house lies on the edge of the village, and its modern exterior is rather deceptive, as inside does provide the airy living spaces they're after. So, come into pole position. I want you to get the full glory of the property. This is the property I want to show you.
OK.
First impressions?
Looks good.
It's nice.
Nice, good.
Nice. Interesting roof.
The stone part of the building is a 19th century building. And then it's been extended in the 80s. You can see the red brick part is an extension. It's very low slung, the house. Most of the rooms are downstairs. There is an upstairs portion. What about the size of the garden?
Yeah, I think that's OK.
Garden's great. I love the walled aspect.
Quite good
Looks great.
For the dogs,
It's a great character.
Despite appearances from the outside, there's no need for them to worry about ceiling heights inside. Here we come. Here we go, straight into the kitchen.
Big kitchen.
Big, it's got your island.
Island.
Yeah, nice island in the centre.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Very nice.
Lots and lots of light, so you've got triple aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
High ceilings.
High ceilings.
Yeah.
This is partly because you don't like the low ceilings.
Yeah, you got that. Yeah. Yeah, you got that bit ticked. Very nice.
Good. Well, then you might be pleased with the rest, then. Come on through here. This is the sort of, as you see, very open plan, living, dining, relaxing space.
Very nice, bright and airy, very open plan.
It's very clinical, very straight, very smooth.
Yeah, it's not cuddly country cottage.
Yeah.
You didn't really want
I
that.
quite like that, yeah. I quite like the fact that it's not country cottage.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the dining room. It's, this is where they dine. Would it be where you dined?
I think it's a bit small for a
Small
dining
for a dining room,
room.
probably a very good study,
It
I'd
would
imagine.
It would be a good study.
That's a good sign. You're already reconfiguring the house.
We could put the table and chairs in the space where the grand piano is.
Ah, it's all coming together nicely. OK, we're going to do a little twist up the spiral staircase to check out the space here. We'll explore the other rooms on the ground floor later, but let's get their thoughts on upstairs. So this is slightly odd, because we've got 2 bedrooms up the spiral staircase from the living space. And at the moment, there's no ensuite. So it's essentially 2 waterless bedrooms. Which is a bit peculiar if you had guests, which I'm presuming that's what they'd be for you, because it's a sort of like guest suite.
Yeah.
Because you've got this space, and then also, just step back, you've got here,
Oh my God.
used to be the playroom for the kids. So it's actually a huge space, so I don't quite know what you would do with that.
We could put Mum in there.
Put the mum in there. Perfect.
I think it'd be okay guest bedroom. It's got some ceiling height.
Yeah.
And then the other room we could turn into a bathroom, couldn't we?
Next door, the second bedroom is a good size and could easily accommodate a bathroom suite. The other 3 bedrooms are back on the ground floor and all file off the hallway. One is a potential double with doors to the garden. And next door is a smaller but bright single, both serviced by the family bathroom. But right at the end of the hall is where they would sleep. And finally, the master bedroom.
There's quite a lot of storage, assuming that these are all covered.
Yep, they are, all covered.
It's nice for the doors to the garden. It's a nice touch.
Yeah.
Very bright again. Nice high ceiling still.
You've got an ensuite shower room and toilet.
That's handy.
Excellent.
Good.
That's good.
Is that sort of adequate space-wise?
I mean, I have to be honest, I was hoping for a little bit more room, a little bit more space, because where we are at the moment, we've got 4 bedrooms, we've got a nice open-plan lounge. And it just feels a little bit smaller. I don't know if I'm right or wrong in saying that,
Yeah, I
than what
think
we've
you're right,
currently
so-
got.
OK. Why don't we take a look outside, because there's a little bit more I can show you
OK,
there.
lovely.
More space.
This property offers an array of light living areas that they can adapt to suit their lifestyle with the dogs, who can dry off their paws in the adjacent utility room, something Sarah really wanted. The double garage block outside addresses Ray's request for more space. So, come in here. It's a good, nice boarded space.
Yeah.
Heating, electricity.
I'm not sure what we'd do with it, but I'm sure I could find something to put in here.
You could certainly glaze the garage and make it your gym.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, yeah.
Back full circle to the hub of the garden. Is it a good size for you?
The garden's a good size, yeah, and it's quite pretty. I like it. I like the walled aspect of it.
Walling's
and the
lovely.
Garage is nice.
Because this is actually only 1/3 of an acre. You said you wanted an acre.
Yeah, I don't think it's sheep and chickens kind of garden, but it's good enough for the dogs. It's a good enough size.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
How much do you think this little slice of Wiltshire costs?
I
go first.
think £525,000.
Okay. I'm going to go 490.
490. OK, well, up until about 3 or 4 months ago, this was on at 590. It's now on at 550.
So, you were closer.
So just bear in mind that even though this is not massively bigger than the property in terms of space that you're living in now, it's the location that you're paying for in many ways.
Yeah.
So Wiltshire is an expensive county. Why don't you have a look around, inside and out, and then I'll meet you at the front, and then we can push on.
OK, all right, thank you.
This way. Open to offers of around £550,000, this property is well within budget. And it's a great opening gambit, providing them with bright, open-plan areas, a spacious kitchen diner with an island, which pleased Sarah, a possible 5 bedrooms, and a converted living space above the garage. With over 1/3 of an acre of garden, it's set in a very desirable village which also gives Sarah good access to the M4 for her drive to work.
I like the airiness of it, the fact it's got high ceilings. It felt quite light and airy. However, the bedroom corridor actually felt a bit claustrophobic, I think.
I liked the kitchen, the lounge area was all right, but I did think that the bedrooms is going to be a little bit too tight for us.
Good? You all done?
Absolutely.
So pull the door to, because we've got another property to look at. Set against the backdrop of beautiful rural landscape, Wiltshire's market towns have a well-preserved heritage of their own. Marlborough was granted its royal charter by King John in 1204, and its main street today is defined by its two churches, one positioned at each end, and its magnificent Tudor and Georgian listed buildings. The surrounding chalky downlands provide fertile soil for crops, notably barley, historically used for brewing. Just a few miles from Marlborough, Ramsbury was the site of a thriving brewing industry, which by the late 18th century had died out. However, with increasing pressure on farms to diversify, the Ramsbury estate created their own microbrewery in 2004. Earlier in the week, we arranged for Sarah and Ray to meet Alistair Ewing, the estate's manager, to find out why brewing beer from their own barley is a profitable venture.
Hey, welcome to Ramsbury. As we're a primarily arable producer, we produce barley, and that is the main constituent of beer. And we wanted very much to add value to our product. There are several steps in the process that we don't get paid for in other crops. You know, we sell wheat, it goes to a miller, it goes to the shop, it goes, you know. We wanted to cut out a lot of those steps, so therefore, malting barley, we grow it, we store it, we get it to the brewery, we make the beer, and we sell it to the consumer. So hopefully it has added value, and it's been very, very successful. And if you ultimately decide to buy here, you'll be drinking part of it, I hope.
The malted barley from the estate is mixed with hot water at 65 degrees. This porridge-like mixture sits in the mash tun for just over an hour so that the enzymes can get to work extracting the sugar. The residual liquid is then boiled in a big kettle called a copper, with hops added at the beginning to give bitterness to the beer, while those added at the end give it its aroma. The solution, known as the wort, is then pumped into the fermenters, where live yeast is added, and at 18 degrees it starts turning the sugars into alcohol. After 4 to 5 days, the beer is cooled to stop fermentation, and then it's ready for dispatch. The brewery produces 360 gallons of beer a day, and it's testament to the fact that diversified farms can tap into lucrative profits from their produce. We continue our house search 18 miles from Marlborough in the village of Brummham, which, along with an array of amenities including a post office, a local butcher's and a pub, also boasts an impressive Grade 1 listed church. Our second property not only comes with history of its own, but it's hopefully the upsize they were looking for. Here we are, number 2. Different proposition altogether.
Much better.
Yep.
It's a house.
It is a house. Not just a house, it's a farmhouse.
Yay.
Yay. It's 250 years old in parts, and as I say, was the farmhouse to the farm that still surrounds it, but it's separate from that. Ray, what did you think from the outside?
I think it's very nice. It's lovely. You know, it's a house. It's a good size. Yeah, interested.
OK, so I'm going to go around this is the back of the house. I'm going to see the front. I hope we can build on their enthusiastic first reaction to this handsome farmhouse, which, along with an impressive front facade, has plenty of character still intact on the inside. Here we go.
OK.
Come on into the warm. Here we have the sitting room.
Fabulous.
Yeah, nice, like it.
It's lovely.
You said the fire was a bit small.
It was, yes.
This is much, much bigger.
It is, it's amazing.
Well, this could be the snug because across the hallway they can really spread out. And here is another mighty big room.
Wow, this is huge.
Oh, yeah, that's lovely.
It's a great room.
So if that's your sort of snug winter sitting room, this could be your day-to-day sitting room.
This is an amazing sized room. It'd be great for our larger dog.
Yes, it could be his kennel.
Yes.
Next door, the kitchen also provides ample space for them and their dogs. Now, this is the kitchen. Down the side of the house.
It's a strange shape.
Yeah, it's long and thin.
It is.
You've got a very fine range at the end, and then it sort of goes along here. And then at the other end, you've got utility end, if you like, and then through there, a huge dog room with a separate entrance out into the garden.
Excellent. It wasn't what I pictured in terms of, you know, a family kitchen.
I think it would need replanning. I think you could make better use of the space.
The kitchen flows through to an enormous dining room, so the sum of the two parts gives them a huge area for cooking and eating. Also leading off the hallway is a ready-made office for Ray, and the generous proportions continue upstairs. So, nice big landing.
Oh, brilliant.
We've got
Very nice.
five bedrooms off
Fallen
here.
in love with this house.
This is a sort of one of the smaller bedrooms.
Is it?
Oh, really?
Is it growing on you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, good, good.
I like it.
But they're great proportioned rooms, the original beams and the sort of high ceilings. The other four bedrooms off the landing are all large enough to be doubles and also give them the space they might need for the future. But we'll take a peek at the largest. Here we are.
Yep.
It's good, isn't it?
You can walk around the bed.
You can definitely walk around the bed. You've got lots of storage.
Where are you
You've
going
got-
to put your clothes?
Well, you've got another 3-4
Just there.
bedrooms to choose from. And there's a lovely family bathroom next door, which they've done up very nicely. It's big and spacious. And windows
Yay!
overlooking the farmyard. They seem pleased with the bedroom sizes so far, but now for a big surprise. Because upstairs on the second floor, the 6th bedroom gives them a suite of their very own.
Oh my God! I don't know what to say. You'd have
What
to
a
sleep
great
on
room.
that side. Because you bang your head on that side. Wow.
But remember, the catch is that this is a plus mum house. Well, that's a catch, of course, that's a great bonus, but in terms of we have to find some ways of lots of you can live here together. And we're not quite done yet. Come on downstairs. There's also a great dressing room on this floor with an adjoining storeroom also tucked into the eaves. And outside offers up the possibility of a small annex for Sarah's mum with a vaulted ceiling, and it comes complete with its own kitchen. The garden also has an unexpected treat in store for our fitness fanatics. So you'll notice you have a heated swimming pool in your back garden. It's on your wish list.
Well, it wasn't, but it might be nice.
But this is your garden. Wrap-around garden, it's probably about 1/4 of an acre, I'd say.
Stunning view.
Garden's fine for me. I think the house is brilliant.
Yeah, the house is.
I'm just concerned about the annex potential.
So how much do you think it's on the market for?
I think it's top of our budget.
Yeah.
750, if not more.
Okay, I'm gonna go 735.
735. OK, well, this is a substantial listed building in a very beautiful bit of Wiltshire. But it could be yours for 725.
Wow.
That's what it's on the market for.
Did
Yeah.
you bring your checkbook?
Are you sold hook, line and sinker?
Oh, I love it. Absolutely. The house is amazing. Absolutely.
No, I agree
I'd
with you.
forego everything else.
Including where your mum lives?
No, I think that's, that would be the compromise. We'd have to work something out, wouldn't we, for that?
This house, I think, requires a good walk around with a pen and a paper and head scratching and moving things around. So I'm going to send you back in, and then I'll see you at the front. See
Okay.
what you think.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On the market for £725,000, this historic farmhouse has space in abundance for family and dogs, providing them with 2 living rooms, 6 bedrooms, one with its own master suite, a small annex, all wrapped up in a 1/4 acre garden, with the added benefit of a swimming pool. And it's set in open countryside with M4 access for Sarah to get to her job to the west of London.
The moment we walked into this property, we both gave each other a look, as if to say, yeah, this is very homely, we could work in this, you know, it's very comfortable. So yeah, we could, with a few changes, we could make this place, yeah, a really nice home for us.
This house makes me feel like I want to get the chequebook out. It's just, it's everything that we wanted. I think we'd have to work around the annex element of it, but I think there's scope to do that in the garage. I really like it.
So, through the back door, we came in through the front, but you know, in a house that you've almost moved into, I think it's appropriate to leave through the back door. As evening falls over the Wiltshire countryside, the first day of our house hunt draws to a close. With a top budget of £750,000, Sarah and Ray want to whisk themselves and their dogs away from the hectic streets of Kings Langley, Hertfordshire, and start their married life together in rural Wiltshire. Of the 2 properties we've shown them so far, the farmhouse seems to be their firm favourite. But coming up, can they get past their first impressions of our mystery property? Probably not your style.
No.
And I visit a farm that's literally buzzing with business ideas. Day 2 of our property search here in Wiltshire for Sarah and Ray, and I have to say I'm a little bit perplexed about what exactly they want to get for their money. Because they loved the house yesterday, but they couldn't really see where Sarah's mum was going to go, and I'm questioning whether they could ever afford to really have the separation they want in one property. But the mystery house today is going to offer them space for mum and also reintroduce the long-forgotten holiday let. And it will either confirm that they want those things or sweep them off the drawing board forever. After a good night's sleep, how are you thinking about the house yesterday? Still excited?
Yeah, I think we've got some things to find out about it, if it's going to be a goer in terms of planning and how mum would fit into that. But we're still excited by that property.
Yeah, it's still a fabulous property. It's just whether or not we can make it work for us, that's all.
Our mystery property takes us to the village of Sutton Benger, which falls right within Ray and Sarah's preferred location and gives them those cycle paths they wanted right on their doorstep, with a welcome pint on tap at the 2 local pubs. Among the array of attractive buildings lining its country lanes is its Grade 2 listed church. Right on the edge of the village is our mystery house proposition, which has more to it than meets the eye. Come with me past the fortress of Leylandii to see the mystery house.
Why is it a mystery?
This property needs a bit of work, a bit of vision, but it actually offers everything you want and some. Because this is not only a house for you and your mum, it's a house for you and your mum and a holiday let.
Oh, interesting.
In a very good location.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because you can already see the things you could do to it to make it more attractive from the outside. Location-wise, it's one of the villages that we wanted to be in anyway.
It is, yeah.
Their confident optimism is encouraging, but now it's time to test their creative vision as we explore inside. Come on in. So it's quite busy.
Yes.
Probably not your style.
No.
But what I need you to do is to think past, you know, the cosmetic things.
It's not so bad.
You're
it's
right.
okay. There's
It's
some
more-
character there. You know, it's not a bad fireplace. I like the beams.
There's additional space for the dogs beyond the sitting room in the conservatory, but will the kitchen measure up? Come through into the kitchen. So this would have been the scullery to the original farmhouse, and this is all extension here on this side. It's actually not a small kitchen diner.
You're right, actually, it's quite a good space.
It's a good space and there's some nice kitchen units. It's just there's something... I think it's the headroom just in this section.
Yeah.
Needs a bit of reorganising, I think.
The kitchen extends into a utility area, which then weaves through into a completely self-contained part. It's actually, again, a big space, sitting room, quite a big kitchen.
Yeah, I think it'd be quite a good space for my mum. It would be the biggest kitchen she's ever had.
And then actually there's a bedroom up top, so this whole unit would be self-contained for your mum.
Okay.
Or it could be the holiday let, because on the other side is another option. To the rear of the utility room is another small wing with its own entrance hall and sitting room, currently set up as a home office. Upstairs are 2 potential double bedrooms, both of which are serviced by a useful shower room. Back through the main house, the staircase leads up to 3 further bedrooms, making 6 in total. There's a cosy double, and the other benefits from a skylight, which is also a feature of the family bathroom. But where will they sleep? And here's the master bedroom in your part.
It's just very dark again, isn't it? But I think a lot of that is the paint and the wallpaper.
Because there's an ensuite sort of dressing room, again, which is quite spacious. Lots and lots of storage.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's probably the best room on this floor.
OK, so it's a challenge, the house. It's a challenge just to get your head around where everything is. So let's go out into the garden and then we can maybe kind of gather our thoughts.
OK.
OK.
Ray and Sarah have been completely thrown by the number of rooms and possible living arrangements that our mystery house can accommodate. Granted, they'll want to put their mark on the interior, but it may also push them to question whether they really want everything they say they want. Outside, the secluded garden is the largest we've shown them. OK, so this is the garden, and it's actually a big plot. It's just under an acre, I'd say. Wrap around, including the little paddock for the sheep.
The garden's good, yeah, it's a good size. Could definitely see some chickens in here.
Yeah, the garden's very nice.
The
Like
dogs.
the front garden with the sheep, brilliant.
Yeah. The dogs would be fine out here, wouldn't they?
What about guessing the price?
I can see you've answered most of the questions that we asked. However, I think the price would be $530.
I think it's higher than that. I think it's probably it's probably late $680.
Well, bearing in mind that it's 5 minutes from the M4, it's got 6 bedrooms, potentially 3 kitchens, 3 staircases, an acre of land. $530 is a bit cheeky. It's actually on at $675.
Hey.
So you get the crown this time.
Yes. Congratulations.
OK, so, I mean, it does offer, on paper, everything that you asked for. But have a look around inside, and then we'll meet up front.
OK.
Under budget at £675,000, our mystery property has challenged Ray and Sarah to seriously evaluate their wish list. Cosmetic alterations aside, this house would give them 2 living areas and a large kitchen diner, 6 bedrooms including separate living quarters for Sarah's mother, and the potential for holiday guests. Just shy of an acre of garden, and it's located slap bang in their search area.
Mystery House is a good choice. It answered all the questions. We've got the annex, we've got the holiday let, we've got accommodation for ourselves. The only thing that I find is the room's a little bit too small, a little bit too dark. So the living side of it, for Sarah and I's point of view, isn't quite what we had in mind.
I think for the money that we've got, I think it's possible to find what we're looking for, but losing maybe one of the elements, which would be the holiday let element. I think what we need to concentrate on looking for is a home for us, first and foremost.
All done?
Yes.
Change of heart?
No, I don't think so.
OK. Let's go and gather our thoughts. For centuries, Wiltshire's countryside has been shaped by its traditional farming practices. And although sustaining farms as viable businesses has been increasingly challenging, here at Hill End Farm in the Dauncey Vale, a new generation of farmer has devised a winning and diverse formula for success. I've come to meet Kerry Cryer, whose family have owned their herd of pedigree British Friesians since 1910, making it one of the oldest in the country. We talk about diversification quite a lot on the show, about families trying to find ways of making farms survive. What was your answer? Because this is actually your mum and dad's dairy herd.
So when Chad and I came to live on the farm...
Chad's your husband?
My husband, Chad. We realised that there wasn't going to be a way of getting a second income out of just milking. So we looked into diversification. Chad, with his fresh eyes, said, let's do something different. And I said, well, I can make cheese. And it was quite interesting because my great-grandfather would have made the Wiltshire loaf, the traditional Wiltshire cheese. And he would have sold it by horse and cart in Swindon. I now sell it by van in London.
While Kerry's expanding her cheese empire, the dairy farm's clover-rich pastures are helping feed her husband's bees, which provides another source of income. How's the honey business going?
Very well. Chad's got 80 hives, and of course, local honey is really, really popular. Many people believe it helps with hay fever if you take local honey.
80 is a lot, so they're spread out. You can't have 80 hives on one spot.
No, because then they would be competing for the same flowers.
How many has you got there? About 10?
About 10. I would say 20 would be the most you could possibly have in one site, but 10 would be what he aims for.
So do you sort of park your bees on other farms?
That's right, yeah. Our hives are throughout North Wiltshire and South Gloucestershire.
Do you have to rent those, or presumably the farmers are quite happy to have bees?
Yeah, it's a really good thing to have bees on your land because they help pollinate crops. And also, they're quite happy to have a few jars of honey as well.
Along with being the 5th-generation cheesemaker in her family, Kerry is nowadays the sole producer of the Wiltshire loaf, a cheese so popular in the 18th century that it even gains a mention in one of Jane Austen's novels. Ah.
And here are the Wiltshire loaves.
So cool because they look like loaves.
Yeah.
See, I got that instantly. So these are the ones that are ready?
Yep, these will be going out to the market this weekend. And these are the youngest ones down here.
So how long does it take to get to this stage?
These ones are just 2 months old.
Are there any sort of things that you have to watch out for? Presumably you can't leave them too long.
There are so many factors that influence cheese making. The temperature at every stage, the humidity at every stage, and you're right, the time that you do things for. We need to keep turning the cheeses regularly so they get even drying out.
Mm-hmm. And so how are they selling? Like hot cheeses?
Yes.
Hot loaves?
They're selling really, really well. It's very hard for us to keep up the production to go with the sales.
Along with 80% of Kerry's cheeses being sold at farmers' markets, she's also branched out into making butter, yoghurt and ice cream. But I'm yearning for some of that cheese.
And here's the cheese.
Kerry, you shouldn't have. It's like you knew I was coming. Delicious. So this is the loaf?
Yep, the traditional Wiltshire cheese.
Can I taste?
Please do, yeah.
So is it a success financially? I mean,
yeah, it's really good. It's employing myself, my husband, and also my brother-in-law, who's just moved onto the farm as well.
And coming up, I mean, do you have more plans? Do you think it's going to be a sort of successful, ever-growing concern?
I started doing this because I wanted to keep the farm going. I love the grass, I love the cows, I love the milk. Couldn't get an extra income from the milking. And so I want our business to keep growing so that we can keep farming in the way we always have done.
Well, I wish you all the best, not least because it's really delicious.
Thank you.
Sneak a little bit in there. And maybe we'll come back next year for some ice cream?
That would be lovely.
Well, that wasn't the most revelatory or life-changing of our mystery houses, but hopefully it might have brought things into focus for Ray and Sarah and made them decide what they do and don't want in their home here in Wiltshire. Let's go and find out. Hello, guys.
Hi.
Hiya.
Time for the moment of reckoning. We find out which one you like best, or least, or both. So it's easiest if we go through them one by one, if that's OK.
Yep.
Can you spin your minds back to yesterday morning, when we looked at the house with the walled garden? What are your thoughts about that now?
I think the garden was beautiful. The living space was OK. The bedroom space was just too small for us.
Yeah, the bedroom's a little bit tiny, I think, for us. The corridor especially, I don't think would really be very workable. just because it was quite narrow. But we did like the idea of the layout, you know, the living quarters, bedroom quarters one side, that was nice, but just a little bit more space, that's all it needed.
And what about house number 2? Because that was a much bigger proposition.
Yeah, that was completely different, wasn't it? It was a great house. Lovely rooms, brilliant staircase, amazing landing. Yeah, very nice.
I think the house is obviously big enough for 3 people to live in. It just had so many rooms. But it wasn't what we wanted, and it isn't what my mum wants either. She wants her independence. And so, really, we were looking at a property with a completely separate annex, so that she's close, but she's got her own kitchen and bathroom, etc. And as much as there was another building outside, I just think it would be a bit unfair to expect her to live in the shed.
So that house gave you lots to think about. Then day 2, we looked at the mystery house. Thought-provoking?
Yeah, I think the holiday let issue with the mystery house made us think that realistically that's not for this move. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to find a house with an annex for the money that we've got. Maybe with a bit of land is going to be enough. No holiday let to go with.
Great location, fabulous village. I like the gardens, but yeah, as you say, I think we have to realise that we can't have the annex and a holiday let.
I know it's a lot to juggle with the mum and the holiday lets and the wedding and all these things and your jobs, but I really do wish you all the best, and I hope you find something to live your marital life in bliss.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I know bluebells are not unique to Wiltshire, but they do lift the soul after what was quite a challenging week, not because of Ray and Sarah, who are absolutely lovely, but because their property goalpost kept on moving. First it was a holiday let in their house, and then a house with their mum. And even though they really liked house number 2, and I think they'll definitely go back and visit it, sometimes on Escape we have to accept that the best thing we can do is help people decide what they don't want. So, join us next time for more escaping. Meanwhile, enjoy the countryside. If you'd like to escape to the... We all know the expression, it's as different as chalk and cheese, but we might not know where that phrase comes from. But once you find out which county we're in with Escape today, then you will. In today's show, I'll be helping a couple take that leap to the country and buy their very first property together. It all starts very positively.
This is an amazing sized room. Fabulous.
Yeah, nice, like it.
But then our mystery house stirs things up. OK, so it's a challenge, the house. Today Escape is in Wiltshire, whose southern chalk downs could not be more different to the northern pasture land that provides grass for the cows that make cheese. There's a difference, but the one thing that unifies the county is beautiful property and gorgeous countryside. The average detached house in Wiltshire, of which this is not an example, costs £300,000. Now that's 15% above the national average. Why so expensive? Well, basically because of the M4. Great motorway links and rail links back into the capital makes Wiltshire the edge of the bearable daily commute when you still have ravishing countryside and beautiful properties. If you don't believe me, take a look. £325,000 would get you this 4-bedroom listed barn conversion in Lynham, which provides inventive open-plan living areas. On the market at £595,000, this extended 4-bedroom thatched cottage in All Cannings dates back to the late 18th century and offers up a lovely light interior downstairs along with attractive gardens outside. Or if your budget can stretch to £680,000, what about this 4-bedroom thatched property in Idmiston? Its reception rooms are filled with natural light and the master suite leads out onto a veranda, a great vantage point from which to enjoy views over the garden. So Wiltshire has some blooming nice properties, and as spring tumbles in over the county, we have selected 3 of them to show today's house buyers. So why don't you get to know them? Meet Ray, a company director, and Sarah, an HR manager, who live in Ray's 4-bedroom home in Hertfordshire. Ray's lived here all his life, having inherited it from his father. Right now they're in the throes of organising their wedding and are keen to buy their first home together well away from this busy commuter heartland.
This is one of the natural beauty spots at Kings Langley, railway line and the M25. As you can see, not the most attractive part of the village, but unfortunately quite essential, and one of the reasons why we're deciding to move on.
We do spend quite a lot of our time walking at the moment. Obviously, having 2 dogs means that we have to walk a lot, and our favourite is going to the woods at the weekend. So we do want somewhere where we've got access to lots of walks, lots of public footpaths on the doorstep.
They've opted for Wiltshire, which has good M4 access for Sarah to get to Heathrow, where she works. Ray, however, has his own pet supplies business, so amongst other factors, he'll be needing space to work from home.
The features that I'll be looking for in our new property would be a study, reasonable sized study, potentially a room that we can use as a gym, have a nice living space, definitely still need to keep an ensuite bathroom.
4 bedrooms.
4 bedrooms.
Large kitchen.
There we are, you've got more of a list
With
than
an
me.
island.
Yeah.
I'd quite like a utility or a boot room, because when we bring the dogs in and they're muddy, at the moment they come straight into our lounge area. So it'd be really good to have somewhere to wipe off the muddy paws and store the wellies.
Outside, they want an acre of land so that as well as the dogs, they can add sheep and chickens to their animal menagerie. On top of that, they're also keen on the possibility of having a holiday